There were several comments made about designating an area, an economic revitalization area, when someone can drive by and it doesn't look like anything's wrong, or it looks like it's just fine, things are going swimmingly. And why do we do it the way we do? How do we justify with these designations when, from all outside appearances, many times everything looks pretty good?
I will say that there's kind of two methods in which we can do designations. Obviously, we follow Indiana code, and we have a local policy in place through our city code in the way that we follow a process. What we do in the city of Fort Wayne may differ from other communities. We designate on a case-by-case spot designation basis. What we ask for the applicant to file with us, not in addition to the application itself and the statement of benefits form, is a legal description of the property's boundaries. And so it's that piece of ground that we designate. It's not the general area like we do with an economic development target area, where we're looking at a much larger area to designate for tax abatement purposes. Other communities may and have looked at designating entire industrial or vacant land for industrial parks. And so they put that designation in place to allow companies that do come in and buy lots to receive the tax abatement benefit. For instance, Allen County several years ago, all the unincorporated area, for instance, is declared an economic revitalization area. As companies come in and file statement of benefits forms with the Department of Planning Services, they then go through the process like you're seeing tonight and having that confirmation or the confirmatory resolution discussed and passed. When you, City Council and other local designating bodies across the state, they look at Indiana code and they may have local policies in place. We obviously have to make some findings according to Indiana code, and some of them include just basically looking at whether the estimated the value of the redevelopment or the rehabilitation on that site is reasonable for projects of a similar nature and type, whether the jobs to be created or retained are typical for those of that nature and typical of that type of business. In some of the local things that we look at within our city code speak to, encouraging redevelopment, the use of vacant or underutilized land, whether or not it's properly zoned. We got into the discussion back in April when we had our 5th Tuesday of the 150% requirement that the jobs to be created or retained meet 150% of federal minimum wage. So those kinds of things are looked at by staff, and adhere to, in regards to whether or not a company would be eligible to apply in the first place.
Okay. All right.